Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Natty here from Myokinetix Physical Therapy and Performance. So today I want to talk to you about how to lose your belly fat when you're actually rehabbing from your injury. The reason why I want to talk about this is that new studies just shown that 13% of workers who injure their back report significant weight gains. So because we get to do this every single day, we see injured athletes all the time, injured parents. When they come in, the one thing we like to talk about is making sure that they don't gain weight, because that actually going to increase inflammatory response, which delay their healing. Also, it's going to increase metabolic stress, increase into insulin resistance, which can lead to prediabetes, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. And we don't want to have that at all, especially when you are already injured. So we want to make sure we pave the path that you can recover from your injury, put on some muscle mass, and lose weight at the exact same time. So today I'm going to go over why it's important and how you're going to do it as you're recovering from your injury. So the number one reason why we like to talk about this a lot in Myokinetics is because weight gain directly leads to decrease in self-confidence. And when you have self-confidence, you're actually going to attack your injuries and your obstacle head on, right? So what we're trying to do, we want to keep building confidence through rehab by educating every one of our patients of how to put on muscle mass and lose weight at the exact same time. Those are number one reason. And now I'm going to go through different strategies, different way that we tell our patient in person of how to go about doing this while they're recovering. The way you gain weight is all about how much calorie you are intaking and how much calorie you are spending, right? So this is called calorie deficit. So number one thing is like filling up gas tank in your car. If you have a long road trip, you need a lot of gas. Therefore, you need a lot of calories in order to go on that road trip. If you are dealing with injury right now, clearly you're not taking a long road trip with your body, right? So therefore, you need to be mindful of how much calorie you are consuming. Number one thing I say when it comes to calories deficit and calories consumption is to take notes of what you have at home. What kind of snack are you buying, especially if you're a parent and your kids are injured? You don't want to leave snacks out there where they can have access to. So that way, what they're going to start doing, they're going to start eating because they're on board. And that's not a good path for us to have. First thing first, take a survey of what you have at home, what kind of snack, if it's healthy or not, and can we start getting rid of those kind of snacks? Or don't buy it at all. So that's the first thing. The first thing is calorie deficit by not snacking. Number two, increase calorie expenditure by moving more. And I know you're probably asking, Dr. Natty, I'm injured, I can't move. That's not entirely true. The way we treat at Myokinetics, we encourage people to move no matter what's going on with their injury, right? If you have a lower body injury, you injure your knee, you tear your ACL, guess what? You can still move around with your upper body. So you're gonna have to find ways to start working out by doing some upper body workout. And if you don't know where to start, guess what? We have a video on that, so you can check out our YouTube link in the description. If you have an upper body injury, guess what? You can do your lower body exercises, which we have a video for that as well. The one thing I always say, if you're dealing with shoulder pain or anything upper body related, you can still walk. Go outside, get some sun, and at least try to get 10 to 15,000 steps a day, because that's actually going to help you increase your basal metabolic rate, which is the rate in which your body burns calorie throughout the day. If you have lower body injury, you can use an arm bike. You can do some dumbbell exercises, things that you can do to keep moving the whole time, right? I always tell people, if you can do body weight like push up, pull up, absolutely do those things, because guess what? The more you move, the more calories you burn and the more muscle mass you can put on. And another cool thing with exercise that it's going to increase your endorphin. So that way you're going to feel really happy while you're dealing with this. The last thing we want is for you to be sad and also losing confidence and gaining weight at the same time while you're recovering. You want to also consume more protein. Why do I stress on protein so much? Because protein actually breaks down into amino acid. Amino acid is a building block of how we actually build muscle. So guess what? Amino acids is also important when it comes to healing your soft tissue injury or ligament injury, even bone injury. When I say high, it's just 1 gram per body weight. If you weigh 150, you want to eat 150 grams of protein. Another great thing about protein is that it actually makes you feel full. So if you're full, you're going to be prone to snacking less. And therefore, you're not going to overeat and you're not going to go into that calorie surplus, which will in turn make you gain weight. So get some lean protein like, turkey, chicken, ground beef, ground turkey. And just make sure that when you are consuming your meals, you're eating a good portion of that protein so you actually feel full throughout the day. The third point, what I love about this is if you can stand up and you can weight bear, I want you to step on a scale every single day. And again, research show that when you step on the scale every single day, it's like checking how much gas you have in your car. You want to be able to see how much gas is in the tank so you know how far you can go. If you step on the scale every single day, you know exactly how much you weigh. And if you have a parameter, and I like to set this parameter, right? So for me, I like to be between, 157 to 163. That's my safe zone. That's my comfort zone, right? So I know I'm allowed to fluctuate between these areas. If I go too low, that means I need to increase my protein intake or my calorie intake, right? So I don't want to be too scrawny, right? I don't want to lose muscle mass either. If I go too high, over 162 pounds, that means I'm enjoying myself a little bit too much, so I need to tone it down a little bit. So give yourself that safe space. This zone right here, this is where I'm at. This is where my clothes fit the best, and this is where I feel the best. We all know that feeling when you put on a few pounds and you're trying to go up the stair and you're just like, man, I'm out of breath. That shouldn't happen, especially when you're dealing with injury already. Because what we want you to feel the best while you're rehabbing from your injury. So making sure you have that safe zone and stepping on the scale every single day will actually give you a guidance on what you need to do throughout the day. If you feel a bit heavier today, guess what? Focus on eating more lean protein, less snack, and then try to get that 10,000 step or 15,000 step per day. So that way you are on the same path. We want to talk about resistant training. It's some of the best thing that you can do, right? If you come and work with us, guess what? We're going to make you move and we're going to do some resistant training with you. Most of the time when we have an ACL athletes coming in and they just got surgery 2 weeks ago, guess what? We're going to rehab their knee, and next thing you know, we're going to make them work out their upper body because there's always something that you can work on. We like to treat the body as a system, not just the injury itself. So when you are dealing with a knee injury or ankle injury, your upper body is still fine. So you should be doing some body weight dips, body weight push-up. And like I said before, if you are lost and you don't know how to start, guess what? We have videos you can watch on our YouTube channel to get you started. The whole point is we want to stack small wins. And the best way to do that is just making sure you're moving at the same time. Most of the people we get to work with, they are athletes, they're active adult, and they're very competitive. So we want to feed that competitive drive. And if you're watching this channel, I know you're one of those people. So you want to keep feeding your competitive drive. Make sure you move throughout the day and do some resistance training. Again, you might not know where am I going to start with resistance training? Start where you know you can actually, with things you can actually do. Minimal equipment, right? You can get dumbbells, kettlebells. That's a good way to start. Even resistance band. Right? Talk to your physical therapist hey, if I'm doing this for my knee, what can I do at home? We send home exercise program in an app for our patient with things that they can do. So resistance training is one of the big things, and it's all kind of fall down together, right? If you do resistance training and you eat adequate amount of protein, 1 gram per body weight, guess what? You're going to put on more lean muscle mass. If you put on more lean muscle mass, guess what? Your body basal metabolic rate is going to go up. That means you're going to burn more calories throughout the day. And therefore, you're not going to gain weight. If anything, you're actually going to lose weight. And the weight I'm talking about, and the reason why I title about this with belly fat, the belly fat I'm talking about is not just your body fat, your visceral fat. The visceral fat is something that we don't talk about so much. Visceral fat are fat content that surround your organ. This is how you measure how healthy someone is. You can have high percentage body fat, but guess what? Those body fat, not just the flap on your stomach, it's actually the fat inside your organ content. I do DEXA scan every 6 months to see where I'm at when it comes to my visceral fat, because that is how I measure how healthy I am when it comes to my body. All these things I'm giving you, from making sure there's no snacks around the house, making sure you're eating high protein diet, making sure that you're in calorie deficit so that way you're not gaining weight, making sure you have a safety zone of where you want your weight to be from the low end to the high end, weighting yourself every single day, move throughout the day, and do resistance training. These are steps that you can take right now as you're dealing with injuries, so that way you can start losing some weight and just build a good path. So once you're ready to go back to play sport, to go back to competing on the weekend with your friends, with your family, you're actually not behind. I want people that come to work with us, by the time we're done with their rehab, they're ready to go, right? So that way we're not wasting more time, because we want you back on the field, back on the court, back in the gym as soon as possible and with full confidence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have any question, comment, like, subscribe, and then I'll see you next time.